Each of my step is a prayer.
I'm so grateful to have been on this wonderful pilgrimage with Thai and many new friends. That's why I'm now sharing it with you. It was amazing. At each new temple, we were warmly greeted, and in turn, the Sangha offered its gratitude to the local venerables.
We cannot express our gratitude for your invitation, your protection, and your support to ensure that this trip will be a success, a joyful event here in Vietnam.
Let's now re-experience the joyous sights and sounds of this Vietnam journey's talks, retreats, and ceremonies together.
Tới thăm cái pháp tổ và họ tới lúc 7 giờ chiều và Đức Thế Tôn tiếp họ trong một cái
Okay. Breathing in, I follow my in-breath from the beginning to the end. Breathing out, I follow my out-breath from the beginning to the end. Breathing in, I see that my in-breath has become deeper. Breathing out, I see that my out-breath has become slower. Breathing in deeper, breathing out slower. Thầy speaking with a Huế accent right now. Very sweet. Breathing in, I feel well when I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I feel light when I'm breathing out. Ah, such a sense of wellness, such a sense of lightness. Breathing in, I am breathing in for my Father. Breathing out, I smile to my Father in me. Breathing in, I am a continuation of my Father. Breathing out, I smile to my Father in me. Breathing in, I feel interested in my in-breath. I am breathing out and I feel very light in my body. Father, do you feel as light? Look at him, yeah. He's offering tea. Yeah, he just poured the tea. Yeah. Breathing in, I smile with my mother inside me. Breathing out, I smile to the mother inside me. The two of us breathing in together. What great joy. Breathing out, I invite my mother to breathe out with me at the same time. The two of us breathing out together. Such great joy. I am breathing in and Thai feels well. I am breathing in and I feel very well. Do you feel as well, Mother? I am breathing out and I feel very light. Do you feel as light, Mother?
You don't have to be serious to enjoy breathing in and breathing out.
Nay con cúi đầu xin sám hối. I bow my head to do beginning anew. One-minded, I ask the Buddha to witness. From now on, I vow to do beginning anew. I vow to live day and night in mindfulness. I vow to not repeat the old mistakes, the old unskillfulness. Homage to the Bodhisattva of great repentance. Homage to the Bodhisattva of great repentance. Homage to the Bodhisattva of great repentance. All mistakes, all unskillfulness arise from the mind. Once the mind is purified, there is no trace of wrong is left. Now I have done beginning anew. My mind is light. For thousands of years, the white clouds continue to float in freedom.
And this is here and now. I have dropped my worry.
Your heart is functioning normally, and that is a condition of happiness. There are many of us who do not have a normal heart, and they very deeply wish that they will have a normal heart like ours. And our heart is one basic condition for our well-being and happiness. And looking inside of yourself, you see a lot of conditions of happiness that are available. And looking around you, you will recognize a lot of conditions of happiness that you already have. In fact, we have more conditions of happiness than we need, and we can really be happy right in the here and the now. You don't need to go to the future in order to be happy. That is the message of the Buddha.
Because of the conditions that come together, insufficient conditions that we give rise to thoughts, that we give rise to words and actions, and they will continue to go in samsara, to go through whether these actions are beautiful or not beautiful. They are our continuation, and that is why we need to invest in ourselves a beautiful future. And the best investment is to give rise each day wholesome thoughts, thoughts of love and of understanding. We have and to invest in ourselves by saying each day the things that can give people confidence and trust, and to help people to reconcile with one another. And each day we can carry actions that can protect, that can help, that can embrace, and like that we invest our future.
Can we say kind words to our spouse and our parents and our children? If we can say those things, then we already feel light inside. It is very wonderful. And we don't have to buy these words with money. If inside us there is the drop of compassion, of understanding and love, then it is easy for us to say kind things. And you can see our beloved one, our friends, bloom a smile on their face.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful smile.
A corn plant will make many kernel of corns and will make one corn plant give rise to two corn plants or hundreds of them, and that is continuation and investment. We are the same way. We are continued through our children and grandchildren generation. It's very difficult to hear them, and these actions will never be lost. And that is why when our bodies disintegrate, our actions will never be lost. They will always be there. And so we practice in our daily life, we make this investment. We see the presence of our parents in each cell of our body. Often we think that our mother and father are outside of us. When we are angry at our parents, we think that we are angry at the father outside of us and mother outside of us. Seldomly we remember that mother is also inside us and father is also inside us. And every time we are angry at the parents outside, we are also angry at ourselves, because we are the continuation of our mother and our father. Just like the young corn plant is only a continuation of the kernel of corn. So the corn plant is angry at the kernel of corn. It means that it's angry at itself.
When I drink my tea mindfully, that is called mindful drinking. When I eat my rice mindfully, that is called mindful eating. When I breathe mindfully, that is called mindful breathing. When I walk mindfully, that is called mindful walking. And when I embrace my anger, that is mindfulness of anger. So with the energy of mindfulness, you transform everything. You make the beautiful thing more beautiful. You transform the negative thing in something more positive.
If you're not present for the one you love, then how can you love? You love that person, then you have to be present for that person, because to love somebody means you cherish the presence of that person and you also offer your own presence. Being and non-being is an issue. It's a philosophical issue. And in Buddhism, we know that philosophy cannot solve the issue of being and non-being. Only our practice can resolve it. There are so many books that talk about being and non-being. But if we only use our intellectual knowledge to look for absolute truth, I'm afraid we will not be able to attain it. And that is why we have to go beyond philosophy. We have to use meditation. And yesterday we used meditation. We looked deeply into a cloud in order to see that the cloud, it is not from non-being that it becomes being, and it is not from being that it becomes non-being. When a cloud is not in the sky anymore, that cloud has not died, because death in our mind, it means that it is from being it becomes non-being. But a cloud cannot, from being and becomes non-being, a cloud can never die. It can only become rain, becomes snow, becomes fog only. And the true nature of the cloud is no birth and no death. We look deeply into the drop of rain. The drop of rain falls on the earth, and within a few seconds, then the drop of rain disappears. It disappears, it does not mean that it died, but the drop of rain has changed shape and form. It has been absorbed into the earth. It is there under a different form. Or the drop of rain fall on a stone, and it can only evaporate, and it becomes again a part of the cloud. The drop of rain does not die, is not lost, but it only changes forms and shape. And that is why the view of being and non-being, still there and not there anymore, they go together.
A practitioner who is successful on the path is someone who is able to achieve what is called no birth, no death. That's nirvana. And nirvana, it doesn't lie anywhere far away. It's in the cloud, it's in the plant of corn, it's in ourselves, because we are just like the cloud, just like the plant of corn, just like the Tathagata, the Buddha. We all have the nature of no birth and no death. And only when we have time to practice looking deeply, being able to encounter that nature in ourselves, then we can arrive at nirvana, and we will overcome fear, worries. And those fears and worries, they manifest from views of birth, death, coming, going, being, non-being, many, few.
Buddhism started with the observation of impermanence. Our loved one back then was like that, and back then we were also like that, but now we have changed. Then our loved one has also changed. Then why do we have to look for the old image, the old form? I would like to confess to you that during the 40 years away from home, occasionally I dream about the old horizons of my homeland, the horizons, the scenery that I have gone through, that I have roamed in, including the temples, the old temples. 40-something years ago, I established a temple in Phu Tho Hoa, we call the Dharma Cloud Temple, Chùa Pháp Vân, and that was the root, the center of the School for Youth and Social Service. And I drew this the map of this temple made of bamboos and of leaves, and it was quite beautiful. And I lived there over a year. I lived there with the young monks, nuns, and social workers of the School of Youth and Social Service, and we had peaceful days together. The days with brotherhood, sisterhood, with love between teacher and students, and it was there I transmitted the 14 mindfulness trainings to the first OI members, Order of Into Being members. I was also in Đà Lạt and Temple Vinh Quang, and I also have beautiful images of Chùa Linh Quang. And occasionally I also dream about this temple Linh Quang in Đà Lạt. 40 years I have been able, I came back, that I discovered that the images that I carried so close to my heart, that I cherished, they're no longer there. The Dharma Cloud Temple of back then was surrounded by rice fields, by bamboos, and now it's nothing like that. The city has moved in, and I don't recognize anything of the old day. We look for the past, and we can only find them in our memory, because life is impermanent. The temple in Linh Quang and Đà Lạt was the same thing. I was startled. It was nothing like the old day. It has changed completely. And during the 40 years, I kept thinking that that place was still there, and that scenery, that view was still what it was. And the people of that time, they would still be those people of that time. In Nha Trang, there is a most venerable, the most venerable Thiện Bình. Back then, when I was at the Buddhist Institute Bao Quốc, that was a young novice that was very cute, very adorable. His cheeks were so chubby, very chubby. I just wanted to take a bite of his cheek. And always, I call him Em, the younger, and he called me Anh, older brother. He called me so sweetly, older brother. And now I meet him, I see him. He is a Đại Lão, great old, most venerable. He was nothing like the little boy who was so chubby and so cute of the old day. And most of the people of my generation, they have died. Only a few of us are left, and those few, they do not look anything like the old day. And that's why I have to look deeply in order to live, to go on.
Trả về nương tựa Pháp. Con đang được học hỏi và tu tập.
Yes, the wandering souls and hungry spirits, please listen. Beloved ones, you are our fathers, you are our husbands, you are our elder brothers, our younger brothers. Do you have? You are also our mothers, you are also our wives, our elder sisters, and our younger sisters, our daughters. When our country was on fire with all the fighting, you left us tragically, suddenly, forced to abandon your precious body. We have lost you, dear ones. We know whether you either fought courageously for our nation without regret for your precious body, and we are proud of you. But there are those of you who lost your body in a very tragic situation, and the injustice could never be expressed. You died deep in a distant jungle, or were lost at sea, or in a dark prison cell. You may have died because of bullets or bombs, or from starvation or sheer exhaustion. You may have been raped and then killed with no way to resist. How many of you have died in despair, in injustice, the remains of your body lost somewhere in the ocean or the jungle, where we who love you could not get hold of them to fight for our independence and freedom. Our country has had to bear great tragedy and injustice, and it is you who have shouldered the burden of the whole nation in your death. We, your relatives, your fellow countrymen and countrywomen, we come here. Some of us are before our own altars at home, and amongst us there are those who still continue to suffer from injustice. Fortunately, the nightmare has ended. The country is now at peace, and we are having the chance to rebuild the country, to heal the remaining wounds. Thanks to the merits and good deeds of our ancestors, we have a chance to come together and offer prayers officially together to the three gems with the support of the powerful Dharma. We request you to come back all together, to reunite with each other, pray together to untie the knots of old karmas and open a new era, accepting each other, embracing each other, loving each other like sisters and brothers in one family. We will not distinguish between north or south, women or men, adults or children, by race, religion, party, or ideology. We all are fellow countrywomen and countrymen, but because of the past bad fortune, we have been pushed to fight each other in our drive for independence, for freedom. Thanks to the merits of our ancestors, we can now come back to each other, recognizing each other as siblings of a single family. to promise each other that we will not forget the painful lesson of the past now engraved on our hearts. We vow that from now on we will not let the country be separated again, not even one more time. From now on, when there are internal difficulties, we will not request the help of any foreign power to intervene with weapons and troops in our country. From now on, we will not start a war for any ideology. From now on, we will not use foreign weapons to kill each other. From now on, we will use our best efforts to build a society with real democracy, to be able to resolve all kinds of disagreements by peaceful democratic methods, and we will not resort to violence against fellow countrymen and countrywomen, respected blood ancestors, respected spiritual ancestors. Please bear witness to our profound sincerity. We respectfully make these deep vows before you, and we know that once we have sincerely expressed ourselves in this way, all the knots of injustice can be untied and the deep wounds in each of us will start to be healed. Today, this great chanting ceremony to untie all injustices equally without any discrimination starts here. But at the same time, countless Vietnamese and friends of Vietnamese throughout the world are setting altars in front of their houses too, to pray for you all. We touch the earth deeply to request the grace of the three jewels to carry you to the other shore of liberation, dear deceased ones, so that, dear ones, you can be carried by the strength of the Dharma to be able to understand, to transform, to transcend, and to know that you are free. We vow to carry you in our hearts, to build brotherhood and sisterhood and mutual love of fellow countrymen and countrywomen. We will remember that pumpkin vines and squash vines can share a single frame, that chickens from a same mother will never fight each other. This insight from our ancestors will shine out its light for us now and forever.
And my practice is every day I transmit the best I can produce. The best I can produce is right thinking, right speech, and right action. Right thinking is the kind of thinking that goes along with compassion, forgiveness, acceptance. Right speech is a kind of speech that can have the power to forgive, to accept, to love, to inspire hope. And right action is a kind of action that can protect, that can support. The kind of action that is motivated by loving kindness and compassion. And everything I do, everything I say, everything I think of, should be the product of my daily life. And that is what I transmit to my children, my spiritual children. And my life is really my message. Therefore, if I have hope, if I am capable of living in such a way that make a future possible, and then my children will be able to continue me like that. So each of us should ask himself or herself that question as whether you can do it and transmit that to our children. Thank you.
Dạ